Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to begin by thanking ESCAP for convening this side event. With global efforts to stay within the 1.5 limits of the Paris Agreement currently off track, this year's COP26 is absolutely vital for governments to urgently commit to addressing human mobility and climate change policies on the basis of available climate and migration evidence. It means increasing support for climate change adaptation, including resources to avert and minimize displacement, and strengthen people's resilience aligned with Objective 2 of the Global Compact for safe, orderly, and regular migration. It means strengthening support to the most vulnerable countries and people, including by significantly scaling up sustainable and predictable financing for adaptation and resilience, and to address climate change-related human mobility. It means mobilizing the whole of society, public and private partners, civil society, women, youth, indigenous people, migrants, displaced persons, and affected communities to lead decision-making and responses related to climate change and migration within the COP and other global platforms such as the upcoming International Migration Review Forum in May 2022. These actions are especially important for the Pacific, in a region where countries face existential climate change impacts that drive climate mobility, both voluntary and forced. Pacific Island countries are acutely aware of the potential implications of climate change for human mobility and are taking tangible action. The Pacific Climate Change, Migration, and Human Security, or what we call the PCC-MHS program, led by IOM together with ESCAP, ILO, OHCHR, PIPS, and PDD, is an exciting example of this. It seeks to protect and empower communities adversely affected by climate change and disasters in the Pacific region, focusing specifically on climate and related mobility. A key component of the program is to support a regional human security-based response on climate mobility through the establishment of a regional rights-based framework. To support the joint working group develop a regional framework, IOM has led the national consultations in 9 Pacific countries. These are some of the key messages. Traditional practices, languages, and cultural identity are invaluable non-economic losses that may be experienced in the context of climate change and related mobility. National and regional policies that are developed to address climate mobility should be reflective of the voices of all Pacific Island countries and align with the international human rights law. Youth, people with disability, women, and the LGBTQI community should be part of this process. Recognizing the complexity of land tenure in the Pacific region, solutions for communities displaced need to involve traditional leaders and host communities to guarantee the sustainability of such arrangements. A well-managed, rights-based labor migration framework can be used to boost community-based climate resilience through the generation of remittances, transfer of knowledge, skills, and entrepreneurship. A regional framework addressing the challenges of climate-related mobility in the Pacific should create safe migration pathways for communities that have no choice but to move, and those that move in anticipation of harm. Such a framework should also respect community choices, including those who choose not to relocate. The program also empowers communities affected by climate change through training and skills development and pre-departure orientation to support migrants' increase an understanding of their rights. IOM is proud to work with our governments and UN partners on this program, which could become a model for other countries and regions that will have to address mobility dimensions of climate change. COP26, as well as the IMRF in May 2022, are useful fora in which to highlight such important initiatives and to demonstrate the type of actions that are essential for communities to adapt to the impacts of climate change. Thank you.